Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today I have with me Lenovo's, or should I say ThinkPad's, Prince, the X1 Carbon Gen 12. A mouthful, but if you know the X1 series, you know that's a really good device. Anyways, that's an open box, but I'm still having this box lying around, so we are going to share the open box and see what ports, what kind of device it is, benchmark it, everything. So let's open it up and see what we have inside. A box made of bamboo sugarcane, wonderful. And in the box we have just some paperwork and the device itself. Here it is, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 12. I've been waiting for it for so long, and I'm happy that it's here finally. So let's go over the ports, go around it, see what this device has inside. So on top, the main difference that you can see is that we no longer have the carbon fiber, those squares on top of it. And I don't like it that it's so smooth and just looking like a normal laptop. That's not a reason. I mean, there is no reason for removing the carbon top of it. Why not having both options? Anyways, the new thing that we also can see is the camera module. It's very big. It's coming from the Z line, the Z13 and Z16. So it's kind of cool. And that's it. Okay, so let's go over the ports and see what we have. Starting from the right, we have a Kensington lock, an HDMI, USB Type B, an auxiliary port, and power button. On the back, we have nothing. And on the left, we have another USB, two Thunderbolt USB Type C Gen 4 on the left. Both of them are can charge the device, and a SIM tray for you to have network everywhere you need it to have. On the back, let's see what we have on the back. So on the back we have usually the device came with the two fans here in the middle. Now they're very separated. I guess it's much better for the air cooling dissipation. I mean, it's normally it would be better, right? So it's kind of cool having this new updated version. And yeah, it's very light, as a carbon should be. And that's it. So let's open it up and see what we have inside. So while the device is booting up, I just want to say that the device is still using the same type of a charger, the 65 watts fast charger. It's really good. And yeah, that's the screen. Just in a second. So even though I wanted to surprise you, that is Lenovo's OLED display. 120 Hz display, touch. It's beautiful screen. I love it. It has its downsides, but we'll get to that later. But it's just beautiful. So as I mentioned, the screen is 2.8K 120 Hz screen, and it is touch. Yeah, Windows sometimes can do some funny things. And it's a wonderful screen. You have to experience it in real life to see it. I can't explain how much it's beautiful it is. The thing now regarding the refresh rates, you can either do it 120 or 60. I think in the Lenovo's Vantage application, you can also do like 160 up to 120 Hz just for better battery life. But right now, as you can see, just two options. And now for the keyboard. So again, another keyboard from Lenovo. It's changed a little bit. So the things that I've noticed, maybe you've noticed a lot other things as well. So again, they've taken the keyboard from the Z line, the The fingerprint has been moved from, I don't know, the power button, which was also here. The power button also was missing, but the fingerprint is here. And that's basically, oh, and we had in the FN, I think 10 and 11, it was call, shut off and shut down. And again, it was replaced with the usual FN keys. Now, how is the typing experience? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to write something and you see and hear how it sounds like. Yeah, the most random sentence that I've ever written. So the keyboard is very silent, very accurate. I love the feeling of it. It's like the exact level and pressure and everything that's needed from the best keyboard that a laptop can have. I love it, and you have to experience it yourself to just understand how good it is. And for the trackpad, now regarding the trackpad, in this device you have two options. You can either way use the old-fashioned normal trackpad, or you can get the higher level versions with the haptic touchpad, the sensor one. Now, I myself do not like haptic trackpads. It's just like making the experience way too want to be a MacBook. And it's fine, it is fine. I know that it's something that you need to get used to. I just don't like it. If you click on it, you can actually hear it. And I don't know, I myself don't like it, but it's still very accurate, very good. If you love haptic, if you've used a MacBook in the previous laptops, then you're going to feel at home. But if you're not, then I think you need to check before purchasing with the trackpad. Because if I had the possibility to buy it without the haptic, I wouldn't get the haptic. Even though it's very, very good, I just don't like the feeling of having like electric trackpad. It just doesn't fit my mind, I don't know. And now for the speakers test. Let me start the sound and let you hear it. So we've all heard it. So finally, after I don't know how many years, Lenovo has leveled up the experience with the speakers. The laptop feels like it has its own base. It does not have either way on top or the bottom speakers that are firing outside, right? It's kind of like having like a phone that is water resistant. It feels good, but it feels like it can be heard like that the sound comes from within the device, and you have to either love it or hate it, but it's not something that you cannot be dealt with. It still sounds good. It's much better than the previous versions, and yeah, better this year. Finally, better speakers. Oh, also before going to the hardware, Lenovo just gave up. They've swapped the control in the FN. Up until this year, we had the FN over here and the control over here, and now they have swapped between them. And you can actually change it from within the Lenovo Vantage application, but just for you to know that there is a change. And now for the hardware, what there is inside this device. So within this device we have the Intel Core Ultra 7 155U, which is the new generation of Intel's CPUs. It's very, very capable. It's much more power efficient. It has many more cores than the usual i7U CPU, and yeah, it's supposed to be a much better CPU. Now it has 1.2 megabytes of cache, L1. The L2 has 10 megabytes and the L3 has 12 megabytes. It has 12 cores and 14 logical processors. It's very, very capable. Regarding memory, it has 32 gigs of DDR5. It's very, very highly speed. It's 6400. It's very capable, as we've already said. I think that you can actually get this device with 64 gigs of RAM, but if you go there and having this tiny device with such amount of RAM, then you probably are not using the right device. Now for storage, we are getting the KXG8AZNV1T02LA Kioxa, whatever the company is called. Anyways, it's a 1TB NVMe SSD. It's supposed to be very, very speedy, and it's going to show us how speedy it is within our benchmarks. Wi-Fi. It has Wi-Fi 6E, the AX 211, 160 megahertz. Now, I need to touch and add this note that its counter device from Dell, the XPS, which I also have review on, is using already Wi-Fi 7. So Lenovo, you have not been kept in the level and the loop of the Wi-Fis. Anyways, it's still a good Wi-Fi antenna, very capable, very speedy. As I've said earlier, it also has SIM tray for generic mobile broadband adapter 18, whatever it means. Anyways, it just supports eSIM Gen 4, and I think there is an option for this device to support 5G, but it was too expensive and less options, so yeah, I didn't take it. For the graphics, there is just the onboard graphics. Now this device is very light and does not made for gaming and stuff like that. It just has the onboard GPU. Even though it's capable for some gaming, it's not a device to use for gaming. And for the last update, there is also the NPU, which means that it's integrating with Copilot and can do many more stuff, much more efficient. I haven't used it. It's supposed to be a very useful thing to do with the CPU, so yeah. And now for the storage benchmark. I'm going to run the test and see what numbers we are getting. I'll be back once it has finished the tests. And we're back with the numbers. So the read speeds are 5500 and the write speeds are 2600, which is kind of funny to me because if you care about speeds of your device, the read speeds are fine, they are important, but the write speeds are much more important than the read speeds. And seeing like that they have the speed of the read, it's just disappointment for me. It still feels like a very capable and speed of fast device, but seeing those numbers, it just means that it's not at this top level. And by the way, after seeing those numbers, I might be thinking about replacing the SSD on this device if it's possible, and I'm going to check it very soon. And now for the CPU benchmark. So I'm going to run the test first time without a charger and then with a charger and see what kind of differences we are getting with those benchmarks. I'll be back once it has finished. And we're back with the numbers. So the single core score is very disappointing at 790. I would guess that later on we'll get updates and fixes for it, because this is not acceptable, I would say. Anyway, the multi-core score is 69, nice, 123. So let me show the rest of the numbers and go to again do the test, but next time with the charger, and we'll see the change that it can do. And now let's run the CPU benchmark, but this time with the charger. And I'm going to run it, and I'll be back once it says finished. And while it's running, we can finally hear the fans running. So as you can hear it's not very noisy, and yeah, you are paying a lot of money for the best that Lenovo can offer you. And we're back with the numbers. So the single core score finally getting a nice number, 1699, almost at 1700. Fun, it's not fully number. And the multi-core score is 8637. So in single core score we're getting more than double. Weird. And multi-core score gets about 35-40% boost. So those numbers are finally coming close to normal CPUs. So let me share the rest of the numbers and go to the GPU onboard benchmark and see what it's capable of. And now for the Intel graphics, not UHD anymore, we are going to run tests and see what numbers we're getting. So I'm going to run it and I'll be back once it's finished. And we're back with the numbers. So the OpenCL score is 16,348, which means it's not a gaming GPU, but it's getting there. Let's say we're taking like, I don't know, a former, like, I've had testing device not too long ago, the GTX 1650 Ti, right? And received 42,000. So you see, it's getting there, but it's not there yet. Anyways, let me show the rest of the numbers. And we'll go to the last GPU benchmark. So the last GPU benchmark, the Vulkan, I'm going to run it, and I'll be back once it has finished. And we're back with the Vulkan score of 16,868. Let me show you the rest of the numbers and let's wrap it up. So that was the full review of the X1 Carbon Gen 12, a device that I've been waiting for so long to arrive. It's finally here. It has its downsides just because it's still new, like the benchmarks with the CPU, something with the GPU maybe. Still a very good device, very capable. Now, regarding of the price, and I know that it's a very fancy and a very not cheap device, very expensive. This model, costs almost $3,500. Get it to your mind, $3,500. So what you're getting for this number? You're getting the best screen you can get, the best camera module you can get in the laptop, the best keyboard, the best trackpad, very good I/O options, right? Security options. You're getting the Intel Evo, by the way. You're getting fingerprint. You're getting Windows Hello. You're basically getting everything that you might want in a light, compact laptop. It's not a device for everyone. It's basically for those people who are either way very, very addicted to Lenovo, like me, or if you're a CEO or someone who just like having using a diamond on a daily basis, and you want to have the best out of everything. This is the device. It's not a gaming device. It can do anything else except from gaming and maybe even video editing, even though I think it's capable at this point. So yeah, that was the X1 Carbon Gen 12. Hopefully they'll change the name at some point because it's not a real Carbon anymore. And yeah, Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.